So in rapid fire here. So first question from Jeremiah, what is the three angels in Revelation?
So obviously there's many angels talked about in the book of Revelation, but as far as the three angels' messages is probably what you're referring to in the book of Revelation chapter 14, and this goes from verses 6 through 12. And so the three angels' messages spoken of in Revelation chapter 14 verse 6 through 12 is not three literal angels. These are an angel means a messenger, and so these are messages that God's holy people will give before the second coming of Christ. And you see this pretty clearly as you read from beginning to end of this chapter, Revelation chapter 14. Like we said before, Revelation 13 is all about the beast and, his mark and, not receiving the mark of the beast. And so God gives a warning of, this beast power that's going to come upon the earth and produce a false system of worship. But then in direct contrast to this, we see God's holy people, his last day people, his 144,000 in the book of Revelation chapter 14. And it talks about how pure and good they are. And then goes on to say, in their mouth was found no guile, for they're before the throne of God without fault. And it says, and then he sees these three angels flying in the midst of heaven. The first saying, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. So the first one is a warning of, fear God. To fear the Lord is to hate evil, to turn away from sin, to turn back to the true God and worship him. Come back to the true worship of the true and living God, who made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that them is. Those who believe that Christ is a creator and that he rested on the seventh day, just as he said he did in the creation time. And that is the same God that God's last day people will continue to worship. And you see again in chapter 12 where this is kind of backed up, because it says here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God, even the fourth commandment, and have the faith of Jesus Christ. So a call of God's people to the world to return back to true worship. Then Babylon is fallen. It doesn't say this with a loud voice, but you see it again in Revelation chapter 18 at the beginning of that chapter of this message. It says with a loud voice, it comes back again. And then in verse 9, it says the third angel saying, if anyone worships the beast and the image of his name, they and receive a mark in his hand or his forehead, those will drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out upon the earth. So basically, do not accept this false system of worship. Do not follow the beast power. You need to be aware of what it is and not fall into its trap and not receive of its mark. And then talking about basically there will be judgment. And this is the three angels messages that God gives to the world before he comes through his last day people. And so that's what I would say is a summary of the three angels messages.